And today I've got Colton Havens here with me. He's a mindset coach and entrepreneur who teaches people how to make a living through YouTube and even helps work with gamers who find that as one of their passions. And I met Colton through a previous podcast episode of mine, David J. Woodbury. He's a YouTube expert, and Colton has also applied a lot of David's materials as well. But Colton has his own system, and more, even better, I think, is that, or not better, but like even as like a build off on top of the YouTube is Colton does mindset training and all of that. And I think mindset is huge, especially if you're jumping into becoming an entrepreneur or looking to build a great YouTube channel. So Colton, man, would love to hear about some of the, just to get started, what got you inspired to even, feel confident enough or to feel like you were prepared to take on, building a business on YouTube and helping people with the mindset training?
Well, it goes a few years back, actually. So I didn't just wake up one day and I was like, hey, I want to do a YouTube channel. I actually was looking for solutions, right? So rewind 5 years ago, and I'm working at Buffalo Wild Wings, making minimum wage. I had done construction, wrestled in college before that, and this is fresh out of college. I knew I didn't want to work in the oil field anymore, even though it paid good. But I didn't like the people I was working around, right? The people that had been there for a long time. I asked myself, hey, do I want to be this person that's been working this fields and stuff for the last 30 years? The answer was no. So I left that and I moved to Denver because my brother lives out there. But so what happened, man, was I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a traditional Tuesday. I don't know if you've ever been to Buffalo Wild Wings on Tuesday, but you get like 50-cent wings.
Right. Yeah. They got a few specials out there. Okay, cool. Nice.
Right. So I'm in the back. I'm going to be the guy that puts your order in a bucket and stirs it, right? So it comes rush hour, and when every work has its downtimes, and then those times where hey, it's time to get to work, right? So we get all these orders coming in. I'm going to work, boom, 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 boom. I'm going to work, boom, 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 boom. And then I look over to my right, and there's this guy who's doing the same exact job as me, right? And he has one of his gloves off, and he's scrolling through Facebook as he's stirring the bucket with one hand. And I know most people, at the time, I wanted to yell at this guy, man. I wanted to get really mad at this guy because he's not working when we need to be working. But he's also that same person that doesn't matter how many times you've nagged him, he never picks up the pace. And at that moment in my head, I said, it doesn't matter how many wings he does or how much work he does. At the end of this week, him and I are going to get the same paycheck. And that's when at that moment is when I started to look for other ways. Like in my mind, the questions were, there's got to be something better. There's got to be a way to get more freedom. There's got to be a way to earn what I'm worth and to earn what I actually do. So I started looking for things that pay me for the work I do. So instead of getting paid hourly, I got paid per wing that I turned or per order that I put out, right? That's the concept I started looking for. And then with that, I fell into sales, not really knowing what it was. I didn't know I was going into sales. I just showed up to a job interview because I was sick of it. I was like, hey, you know anybody that's hiring? I learn fast and I work hard. And eventually I showed up to a job interview at the kiosk at the mall about 5 years ago. And the guy shows me what it is. He goes, hey, look, so this is what we're doing, man. You get 19 portraits for $20, family portraits. They can bring 12 people and their dog, $10 city fee. So it's a total of $30. And I come from a big family of 6 kids. And we had never taken professional portraits. And as I'm walking to this interview, let me back up a second. As I'm walking to this interview, I'm looking at my bank account and it says negative $500 as I'm going to this job interview. So in my mind, I just knew before this started that I had to make whatever this was work. Okay. And after he told me what we were doing, I started looking for $20. I'm like, dude, I got $20 somewhere. Here, let me go there. And he goes, no. You're not going to pay me. You're going to stop people and tell them they can buy this. Okay. So the first couple people I stop, I show them what it is. Someone buys it. They hand me that $20 bill, and I go to give it to the guy that's interviewing me. He goes, no, 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 no. You're going to keep that. That's how you get paid. I was like, you're going to pay me to talk to people? Miss, sir, ma'am, miss, sir, ma'am. And I started running down the hallway. He's like, whoa, 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 get back here, get back here. You can't leave the kiosk. And that was my first introduction to sales. And fast forward 5 years, I became one of the top sales reps. I became the trainer. This right here, this $100 bill, I don't know if you can see that, was the first money I ever made training people on how to make money in sales. So
Nice. You kept that and framed it instead of
yeah,
spending
hell
it.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even a real $100 bill. That $100 bill is worth more than $100 to me.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah, but this right here was from the first time I ever got paid to train someone, to become a trainer. And in the midst of all this company introduced me to what is personal development, which what I made my personal brand is Brain Food Guy. You got to feed your brain. And that's where the mindset comes in. And eventually, where I get into YouTube on this, I know it's kind of a backstory there, but eventually sales wasn't enough either because I was only as good as my next week. But I did make way more money than I would have ever made, working hourly at the time. So I
Right.
started looking into YouTube, and then the concept hit me. If you make one video that earns you money, it will now earn you money for the rest of your life. Okay? And now it's only a matter of how many more videos do you want up there to create multiple streams of income off of several different videos. Okay? But the most problem that people have with starting YouTube is they want the microwave mentality, meaning I posted a video today, I didn't get any likes, I didn't get any shares, no one bought any of my stuff, it doesn't work, it's a scam. Instead of thinking like a farmer, and you're going out, you're planting seeds, but first you have to break the ground, you have to till it, you have to water it, you have to fertilize it, then you plant the seed, then you water it daily, then you deal with bugs, birds, blizzards, and all sorts of random things until eventually you get your harvest. Okay, but once the harvest is, when the online space, it never goes away. So it's worth that work up front, which is basically what it's like to start a YouTube channel or an
Mm-hmm.
online business in general. So I kind of seen those concepts, and that's kind of where my evolution and my, why I eventually started doing a
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
Yeah. Hey, that's amazing because it sounds like it wasn't just, suddenly you just started a YouTube channel. You realized like over time, like the value of it, from that moment. That's such a great story. That Buffalo Wild Wings story where you're sitting there, it's like, really, like, I'm bust my ass. And, I wrestled in high school and, it's one of the toughest sports to perform in, arguably the world. But, of course, everyone says that this was his best. But anyway, it's tough, like just conditioning and all that and the weight and everything. And, it's to have that mentality, but then see this other guy who's, flipping through his phone. I can only imagine, and it's like, even if you were to move up, do you really want to have to manage that type of, that type of situation? So, cool that, you came to that realization. And, over the next 5 years, you mentioned something about how there's a difference between only as good as your next sale versus taking that entrepreneurship perspective, like posting online and having that income. Can you go over that again? Like, what did you mean by that?
Yeah. Okay. So in sales, so for instance, like in sales, I can make more money. Okay. So let's put it this way. Sales is like being a professional basketball player. You can make a ton of money, but you also can spend all that money you make. There's tons of pro basketball players that are broke. There are tons of NFL professionals that have made millions of dollars, but yet after their career, they're still broke. And that's what a salesman is. You can make millions of dollars in a short amount of time doing what you love to do and just basically talking to people and helping people make a decision, right? You can make $12,000 in 30 minutes, 40 minutes if you're a great salesperson, and beyond, millions of dollars, depending on what you're selling, okay? But if you don't continue to sell, the money will eventually dry up, just like playing sports. If you stop playing sports, eventually your money will dry up unless you use that money as seeds to create an avenue of passive income or a business in general. That's why Michael Jordan has so much money that he has, is because he built a brand with his name outside of his basketball career, which still offers income and passive income. That's building an asset. So sales will get you ahead of your day-to-day bills. But if you're not smart with your money, you're going to stay in the rat race and might as well stay making minimum wage, working hourly, because you won't get out of it. You'll just get bigger debt. Right. And this is a lesson I learned hard, man, because I left my sales job several times trying to be full-time on YouTube and stuff, thinking that I had a ton of money saved. And within 3 months or so, I'm broke again and I got to go back and start it all over again. So that's what I mean by, as a salesman, you're only as good as your next sale. You're only as good as your last paycheck, because if you don't continue to sell, you don't continue to make any money. So the only way to get past that is to build a business of some sort. And online is the easiest way to do it, because your business is literally built off of videos or podcasts like this, or Facebook, Instagram posts, things that literally last forever. Once a Facebook post or a podcast is made, unless you specifically go and deep down, delete it from the internet, even after that, it still can be found. You're making a source of income that will last forever versus having to go do it again. I hope that was clear.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So basically, instead of only as good as your sale, like doing a sale and, working for that income, it's basically, having something that can generate income for you in a way.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
correct.
All right. Interesting. Yeah. All right.
But for personal experience, sales is the only thing that you have to get good at sales. Like, if you want to start a business at all, or even make videos online, you have to learn how to sell yourself. Like, there's no doubt about that. And everybody is a salesperson. Most people don't think so. Like, if you're in a relationship, yeah, you're selling your spouse or your loved one every single day that you still care, you still cherish them. Those are literally sales. A kid trying to get a candy bar at the checkout line is a sale. So nothing in life can happen without that transition. And there's two different people. There's people that sell on accident and the people that sell on purpose for an income. And that's it. And if we want to transition over, you have to realize that kind of concept there as well.
Yeah, and that's huge. I worked for the Wolf of Wall Street at one point, just recently. And, I think it was so interesting that even though he has a huge brand, this is for like any big brand out there. The fact that even big brands, they got to resell themselves to the market. Like, they got to find new people. You could probably name at least 3 or 4 celebrity names that, still are not recognized by maybe a few people in your like friend circle or something. So I think that's so interesting that you brought that up, because that's something I've been thinking about lately. So it's very important for sure. And also, okay, so you had this experience over the long term. And I think it sounds like when you first did it, 6 years ago, YouTube was still fairly new, right? Or 2014?
Yeah. So the first time I ever even opened a YouTube was about 6 years ago, according to my YouTube channel. But I didn't start posting game stuff until May of this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you realized that the YouTube was an opportunity. When did you, and you knew that you probably knew that people were getting big and, they were making money, but when did you actually come across finally the idea that would be like, yeah, this is going to work. Like, this is what I'm going to dedicate my time to.
Okay. So what happened was I took 2 weeks off. So I was looking on YouTube trying to find ways to earn money and all that stuff. So I started going down the rabbit hole that most people go down that eventually start making money online. I get into that yes state. You talk about making money, I don't care what it is, if it's an MLM, if it's whatever it is, I'm saying yes, and I'm going to try, and I'm going to do what the top leaders say, and I'm going to do that until I either come with the outcome, I don't want to do this anymore, or it actually doesn't work. So versus on just saying no and having that what I have called the black and white mentality, either yes or no, I went in with the gray mentality of I'm going to try it regardless. Okay. And that's when I started doing lots of stuff on YouTube. And then eventually I was getting really frustrated, and now I wasn't making money online and I wasn't making money in sales because I wasn't emotionally involved in my sales. So now I was making no money, and I eventually had to take a week off to almost 2 weeks off of my job. And in the meantime, I found this company that I promote now. And I started basically hustling it through Facebook Messenger and Facebook groups. And I'm talking about ways that people can make money. Sent them my link. And now I started making money. I'm like, oh shit, okay. So I need to get people to this link. And when people get to this link, they go through a sales funnel. They watch this video. At the end of that video, they can buy stuff. And if they don't buy stuff, that's fine, because instead of following up and calling them on the phone like I would do in sales, my emails will be that person for me. So it's automated. So all I have to do is get people to this link, make sure they click this link, and then over time, if I get enough people there, I will earn income. And I started making a couple $100. I made $1,000 in one day off of one sale in that week that I was off, and I didn't go back to my job. I eventually had to, because like I said, I thought I had the money and I really didn't have enough money to pursue it. Because even if you're making money, this takes about 1.5 to 6 months before you can go full time to where you can replace your income. That's realistic. Doesn't matter if you're running ads or Facebook ads or anything. You can go faster, but that's kind of a realistic time frame for most people.
Hey, and that's wonderful that you share that in terms of how much time it actually takes. I think a lot of people hear those types of things, and you hear it on YouTube a lot, and you think it's like a couple weeks. You message a bunch of friends, and a couple weeks later you're gonna be rolling in like a business. But
Right.
it's so important to hear like what is realistic. And you seem like someone that when you heard about it, you did work really hard at it, testing out different ideas and everything. So that's cool. All right, so there's that transition time, and then you started this business in terms of teaching gamers and stuff. So say someone wants to be a gamer. There's so many YouTubers out there. Do they just jump on YouTube and just get started? Like, what do you think are some of the things that can help someone go in with like a head start? What would be like 3 tips or something?
Don't focus on being monetized. You're not going to become a full-time gamer from being paid from Twitch or YouTube itself. And that's the biggest conception that I get. You can, don't get me wrong. You can get paid and you can make decent money from just being monetized and Twitch paying you for subscribers on your Twitch, right? Which I think is where most of the money, I honestly don't even, I have a Twitch, but I don't even stream to it because I use marketing as my background. I'm not playing to play, I'm playing to earn a sale. Because without the money, you can't become full-time. Because if you're not getting paid at all, you got to go back to your job. So what I suggest for most people is stop focusing on being monetized and getting paid from subscribers on Twitch. You got to get rid of that, okay? What I got to focus on is making myself a brand. So what am I going to be different? There's tons and hundreds of streamers now. Everybody wants to be a streamer now, at least lots of people, especially the younger you go, right? So brand yourself, get an affiliate offer that has a value ladder and a sales funnel, and promote the shit out of it every time you game. And that's basically it. And then it's rinse and repeat with some keyword research and understanding YouTube's platform and how to market. Okay, so that way you're not just posting up videos like, hey, I got a sniper kill today. Check this out. Okay, that doesn't work on YouTube when you're brand new. With a huge following, you see those people that are like, oh, hey, he thinks I'm hacking. And they got like 100,000 views, right? But that person also has like 400,000 subscribers. And if they follow the formula that I just said, they would already be making millions of dollars with their following they have now. But because they're focused on the wrong thing, being monetized and advertisings and sponsors, there's one guy I ran into online that had 54,000 subscribers and was only making close to 50,000 a year. With that many followers, there's a guy that promotes what I promote, and he has 400,000, and he made over $1,005,000 in his first year promoting our company. So with those type of followings, he could have way more money because he's following the sales process.
Yeah, and I think that really touches on the difference between, just playing video games to play them, or, just trying to start YouTube to start it, versus having a business, having something that, you go in with a strategy, you go in with approach, which was ultimately, what I think was my biggest takeaway from your answer, going in with the right expectations, not just playing the hobby as much as it is, being good at the hobby because you want an audience, but also, the strategies that you shared, which was fantastic. The brand, I forgot what you said the second one was, but the third one was the offer. So what was the second one? I can't remember exactly.
Learn how to brand yourself, get an affiliate offer.
It's all good.
Don't focus on being monetized is a big
Oh,
one
right.
too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That I think that's probably the first one, and then you need an affiliate offer and brand yourself, right? But you
Yeah.
also need to learn marketing, so like how to do keyword research and get in front of people. But one of the concepts I like to use all the time is this. So can you make a better hamburger than McDonald's?
Yes.
Cool. Most people can. So my next question is, why don't you make as much money as McDonald's does?
Man, that's a really great question to answer because I haven't figured out a way to do it.
The only difference is McDonald's has a business system, a system so easy that teenagers run a multi-million-dollar business. And that's the difference between most people. They think because they have a better hamburger, they're going to make more money. But without the system, you're just going to make hamburgers for your neighbors. You're not going to be worldwide, nationwide. You're never going to bring the income that you think you're worth because you don't have the business system in place.
Yes. And what this, I think this touches on earlier earlier when you were saying how even the big YouTubers who have a ton of followings, like they're just doing it, but they don't have there's opportunity for them to really grow even more. Like if the more income they make, the more better shows they can make for their audience and so much more. So I think there's so much here, not just for the individual person who wants to start a gaming channel, but also, any YouTuber who has either been at it for a while or who has a big audience or anything like that. So, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And also, okay, so that's the business side of things. And you mentioned, not going in with the attitude of monetization, but can you also share, and I think it's so important. I was watching some of your videos and, you share some great stories in them, the value or where mindset really comes in to YouTube developing that channel or developing that business, regardless of what subject or topic you're talking on. Where does that really come in handy? Or can you share some examples?
Yeah. So what do you want to be good at in life?
Man, I want to be good at a lot of things.
List me, give me like 3 or 4. Just list them.
Writing books, becoming a speaker, becoming a media brand, and as an entrepreneur.
Great. So now my next question is, who is already doing that at top level that you know? Let's just pick one. Let's do speaking because I know speaking. So name me 2 or 3 people that are elite of speakers that you admire.
Man, well, all right. So Tony Robbins is a fantastic speaker. I mean, just the obvious names. You got Ty Lopez, who does some great materials, and top there. I mean, Brian Tracy off the top of my head.
Okay. So now, to become a great speaker, all 3 of these people think the same way. So doesn't matter what you want to be great at. Let's say football, maybe jiu-jitsu, wrestling even, right? I was a college wrestler as well. My coach was a gold medalist, and I did All-Americans and All-Stars, and I was pretty decent, right? So anytime you want the elite of the elite, I'm talking the best of the best in any industry, all have the same mind frame, all think the same way. At least they all come at problems with the same type of solutions and thinking. And the only reason 90 or the 70 other % of people don't is because they have the exact opposite frame of thinking. So mindset is the number one thing that will stop you, or it'll be the number one thing that makes you succeed. Because based off of the way you see problems and how you come up with solutions, because there's 2 people when a problem happens. Let's say for instance, something simple like you can't upload a video. The one person goes, okay, I'll do it tomorrow. And then there's the next person that says, okay, let me adjust, go find out, go search some more YouTube videos. Let me figure this out because it's got to get done today. And that's where the mindset comes in right there. As simple as uploading a video, especially if you're brand new and you've never even uploaded a video. So it starts even there as your first video you upload, all the way up to the very tip top to where you've been doing it for tons of years. And the problems change, but the way you find the solutions don't.
Yeah, that's great. And that touches on that popular quote, you know, how you do one thing or how you do anything is how you do everything. So, man, that's great. And okay, so you've been training people and developed a couple programs, right? Can you share a little bit more about what those are?
So yeah, so right now I'm in the middle of making a 14-day mindset program, right? So we got the free 7-day mindset program with David, and then after that we got a 14-day one, but it's going to take at least 30 to 67 days with thinking different and feeding your mind with these different mindsets for them to become a habit. Because if they don't become a habit, you always end up back to where you were, right? So you have to feed your brain. So we start with the 14 days, and in those 14 days, I give you exactly what you need. You've seen those last 2 videos maybe that we've posted so far, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to just branch off of those and go into another 14 days.
Okay. Hey, that's pretty amazing. All right. So, for anyone who needs a reference, there's a group, and I can include it in the description below for you to go catch those mindset trainings. You know, they're like 15 minutes long, like less than 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 10
Okay.
minutes, 15 minutes at most. Yeah.
So they're very, easily digestible videos, which have been really great. And you get to hear more from Colton and some of the amazing things that he has to share. And on top of that, okay, so here's another thing. Now, there's a huge difference, between somebody who's just jumping in to getting into the world of becoming an entrepreneur, having to be self-sufficient, having to work that extra, do that extra work to get their videos uploaded or lots of videos. And there's a difference between someone who goes into that just like, just randomly, and then someone, who has done college wrestling or, played any college level sport or, something like that. So how do you shift? Like if you've just been just regularly going through your day and you suddenly make a decision to make a YouTube, like what would you say is the biggest thing that you have to shift to change your mindset to really get in that, like, I do have to put in the work to do this mentality?
So,
and maybe I'm wrong on there's a huge difference, but besides just the mindset, but
there's a difference between thinking of doing something and doing something. So even in my mindset videos, I talk about this. And when you have the aha moment is the time to do it. So you're like, hey, I need to work out. Well, just do 10 push-ups right now. So when you have those moments, I would pick up the phone, do a live video, talk about, hey, this is what I had going on, da 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 da. Turn it off and don't look at your video. That's how you start. Because for those people that have those hesitations, they are their worst critic. They're their worst judge. They think other people judging them, and most people don't even see what you think they see. It's your own self-doubts, your own self-limiting beliefs that stops people from moving forward and taking action because it's uncomfortable, right? Looking at themselves on camera or looking into a camera. For most people in that starting phase, it's uncomfortable. And I would say the only difference between someone that commits to it and someone that doesn't is the ability to act, which is our single power. The most power we have is the ability to act on something. And without action, nothing happens. We can think about things all day, right? You can think about world peace, but if everybody thinks about world peace, is that going to make world peace? Simple answer is no. It's not. You got to do things in order for your thoughts to become your reality in a way. So it's the only difference is there's people that act on what they're thinking, and other people just like to think and makes them feel good. Oh, that would be nice. That's what they like to add at the end. That would be nice if I started a YouTube channel. You know, I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel. You know what? It would be nice if I didn't have to go to work every day to the shitty job I don't
Right.
like.
Uh-huh.
So that's I would say that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, hey, that's fantastic. And what I thought was so valuable, I mean, there's two things here. Is one thing is like not everyone thinks of world peace in the same way, you know? Like some people think of world peace as like one thing, and another person thinks it's like just authoritative, take over everything. Another piece, like, or just everybody gets to do their own thing. It's free. So, you know, I think that's pretty valuable. So like, as you were talking about, like, you know, these systems and things and approaching it with that system is different than just approaching it with, oh, I'm just going to quit my job and start YouTube and I'm going to make it. So, you know, I thought that was great. And then one other thing, you know, I thought that was so valuable and, you know, I could really appreciate is the idea of coming up with that thing that's just, you know, that one little step, just that one little video, and getting over that fear, whether you post it or not, is huge and tremendously valuable. So
Right.
that's awesome, man. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, that comes from lack of confidence. And so do you know how to build confidence?
Uh, it depends.
Okay, so the way confidence is built is through, do you have any kids?
No, no kids.
Okay, good job. Not yet. All in good time, right?
Yeah.
Just kids are a great example, but we won't do that in this instance for anyways. So, okay, so the only way to build confidence is by small wins. Okay? So we build them one step at a time. Kind of like driving. If I asked you, can you drive from here to there? Most people that have driven will say yes automatically. So my question is to you, why are you so confident that you can get from point A to point B?
Because I've practiced.
Boom, right? I've done
Okay.
it.
That's what you got it. Okay.
I've put in the time.
Yeah.
I've sat behind a wheel. I've driven on the park. I've driven in the parking lots. My dad showed me how to use the turning signals. I know how to stop. I know how to shift the gears. Right? But you weren't six. Most people, and if they are, the people that are 16 and then they just get into drive and never had gotten into a car or behind the wheel or sat on their dad's lap or drove in a parking lot are way more scared than the kid or person that got to drive with the mom in the parking lot. They got to turn on the blinkers. They got to practice before the test even happened. And that's how confidence is built. It's by the little things one step at a time. And so by doing those videos, just, hey, I got this idea, shoot the video, post the video, don't look at the video. Shoot the video, post the video, don't look at the video. And do that for like a month and never even watch the video, okay? Just do it live, post it, because over time, you're going to get confident enough to where people, why are you doing that? And the question should be, why aren't you doing it?
That's great, man. Awesome. All right. Well, man, I felt like I've even had a little coaching session here because you've shared, you know, you've asked me some great questions that actually made me think, like, you know, how do I do that? You know, who are the three people, if I had to list them right away, that I should, you know, start to wonder about, you know, how they do things even more effectively. So that's great. And you know, for anybody, for the people listening, man. Okay, so you've heard about Colton, you've listened to his story, and you can tell like he knows what he's talking about in terms of building systems, building up your YouTube channel, building up, going in with the right mentality, and all of this ties together to develop a good, fantastic, you know, YouTube channel that's gonna boom. So with that, Colton, what else would you like to share, you know, as we wrap up this episode?
Not much, bro. Not really much. Is feed your brain.
Oh
Feed your
yeah, that's
brain.
right. Is that feedyourbrain.com or?
No. If they want more stuff like that, they can go to yescolton. Or sorry, 15days.yescolton.com, and it'll give them everything they need to move forward if they want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe if they want a gamer, if they want to be a gamer, or even if they just want to start a YouTube channel in general that earns money, 15days.yescolton.com is everything they're going to need in one place.
All right, fantastic. So you've heard it here, everybody. That's 15days.yescolton.com to help you start to launch your YouTube channel, or even are there even ideas on it for people who are more advanced, or is it primarily
Correct.
like?
Yeah. No, it's dude. This what this 15 days is a course, And in the 15 days, it answers all your questions. It gets your brand going. You get your system up and running. You get to be on a coaching call with someone that's already doing it to answer your questions on the phone. So when you do launch after the 15 days, you have a system set up to where once people come through, you can start generating income as soon as possible. I'm not going to guarantee anything because it all still comes down to work ethic, right? But yeah, that's going to be everything to do. If they take it serious and they go through it, they watch the trainings, they'll have everything they need.
And that's awesome because as you've been sharing with us is that when you go into YouTube, this gives you an opportunity to have something to start generating income from the start, it sounds like, as opposed to working to build 10,000 followers and then figuring it out, and hopefully YouTube pays out the good ad money or whatever. But this has been an awesome experience interviewing you, Colton. And with that, everybody, 15days.yescolton.com. Start to launch your YouTube dreams and everything. And with that, have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, brother. This is fun.